relationships with our kids, our partner, our family, our co-workers at work. Relationships are so important. And why are they important? Because they make us happy. It really brings us joy to be connected to people we like, people we feel comfortable with. On the other hand, think of people we don't feel comfortable with. Think about work, or think about people you may know in your community. Maybe you don't trust them, or you don't feel comfortable with them for some reason. We love to build connections, to feel close, to feel comfortable, to feel that bond with people who are close to us. And again, that's why relationships are so important, because they bring us so much heartfelt joy. So as busy women, we're often busy with work projects and deadlines, with our kids' schedules, their school calendars, with our younger kids meeting their milestones, sleeping through nights, making doctor's appointments for our family, making sure we've planned for dinner and meals every day, making sure the laundry is clean. And so very often, our effort and our time in family bonding and relationships ends up being deprioritized. We don't put time or effort into it. And so what I want to remind you, first of all, today, is that it doesn't have to take a lot of time or effort or work to build relationships. I tell the people that I work with, I talk about what I call micro moments or mini events. Micro moments, micro events, mini events. It only takes minutes to do something to build a relationship, to build a bond. So what are relationships, first of all? They are interactions. They are how we interact, how we act with others. And it is worth putting some time and thought into that, although it doesn't have to take a lot of time to build those relationships. So what we want to focus on in relationships is attention and consistency, and to some extent time, although I'll talk about that. In attention, we want undivided, undistracted attention. So I tell people 10 minutes, not a lot of time, but 10 minutes of undistracted, undivided attention with a child or a partner is more effective, is better than an hour of sitting and playing game and looking at your watch and reading emails in between and taking some notes about a work project that you just thought about. When you have divided attention, it doesn't build the relationship. Even kids can sense when you're with them with divided attention. They can sense that even at young ages. And I tell people, even if you've had a long work day, if you can spend 10 minutes with a child, even at night, and it really undivided, undistracted, where you're really looking at them, thinking about what they're up to, what their needs are, what they're feeling, and they feel you back, they feel your attention back when they look at you, that builds the bond. Same with a partner. Often when we're with a partner, both the partner and we are busy looking at our phones, at our emails, at the time, thinking what we need to do for work tomorrow. What would it be like even if we spent 5 minutes looking at each other, gazing at each other, asking, how was your day? And really meaning it. Not asking, how are you? And everybody just saying, okay. But how was your day? What happened today? Anything special come up today? And really listening and being supportive and understanding and feeling what your person is saying. Again, those micro moments. So if a partner comes home from work, eye contact, a hug, a kiss, feel that body contact for a hug, even for moments, those micro moments, as opposed to literally sitting on the couch and waving, oh, hello, you're home from work. That's a micro moment, a micro event that can really make a difference. And a small greeting at home can just be the communication to say, let's continue this later, or to say we have a consistent bond, even though we haven't been together during the day, even though we're going to be with the kids coming up, we have this warm, loving interaction. So I talk a lot about micro moments, micro mini events, and think about that in your life. Think about even 10 minutes here and there, and think about consistency, about doing something regularly. So we often think, well, once a week I'm going to take my kid and do this. But what do you do during the week, again, even for 10 minutes? And I also talk about having family bonding activities, like, a special Sunday night dinner, maybe pasta night, or a night during the week, or a weekend night game night, or holiday night if there's a holiday coming up, or make up your own holiday. Celebrate, this is the anniversary when we moved into this house or this apartment, or this is the anniversary when when the parents met, or this is a holiday that we make up. It's Red Day or Green Day or Popcorn Day or Jello Day or whatever is funny in your family, a stuffed animal's birthday, or book night. Everybody read the same book, and it may be a children's book depending on your ages, and have a conversation about the book. Have a conversation together. What did you think about the story? What did you think about the characters? What did you like about the book? What about the artwork? And what about the people? And what would happen if you were in the story? How would you fit into the story, or your children fit into the story, or your dog, or your cat, or your bird? Come up with different ideas, creative ideas, to be having these intentional conversations and discussions and relationship times with family. Again, bonding involves attention, undistracted, undivided attention, consistency, and some time, but it doesn't necessarily have to be hours and hours of time. Even minutes, moments, micro events, mini sessions of just togetherness can really be the magic, even in a busy life, in a busy family life. So keep creating and building those micro moments. I want to talk a moment about work relationships as well, how you relate to your boss or bosses and your coworkers. And remember that good relationships build good working interactions. So you don't want to reserve just solely work questions, work interactions, but make sure you build those relationships, those bonds with people you work with, your boss or bosses or coworkers. And really, how are you? Not just saying how are you in a way where they're just going to say okay and you move on. How was your day? How was your week? How was your vacation if they've been on vacation? How is your mother doing if she had been in the hospital? Or how is your child doing in the new school? Or whatever is in that person's life that they may have shared with you, that you can connect with them on and show that you care. It makes a difference. Good relationships build good working interactions. When when I feel good about someone, I feel comfortable with someone, I trust someone, I feel that they pay attention to me and my needs as well, it is a good environment. So remember, attention, consistency, and a little time for those personal interactions. They don't need or require hours. They can be those micro moments, those mini events in time that we can do with our family, with our kids, with our work people. And I want to give you a little assignment now that I hope you will take. You don't have to, but I hope you will do this. I think it's really a good exercise. I want you to take a piece of paper and list down a row people in your family who it's important to you to build relationships with. So if there's a partner, put their name. If you have kids, 1 kid or 2 kids, or how many kids you have in your family, list their names. And I would like you during this week, for 1 week, to keep track of all the mini micro events, the mini moments that you have. And each night, if you can, or sometime in the evening, I want you to jot down what you think you've done to build a relationship with each person. And you might want to do that with your work people, but leave that page at work. What did you do? What can you do to your boss, your bosses, people you work with at work? Keep track and think about what you do. Think about what you can do. What micro moments, what micro events have you put in? And that might stimulate your thought and give you momentum to think, what can you do? Again, it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Brief steps can really make a huge difference overall. It's a matter of attention, consistency, and really as much time as you choose. Those micro moments, those micro minutes really add up and really contribute to those special relationships and bonds with the people we interact with. So I really encourage you to think about your relationships and how you can facilitate and cultivate them and build them to be even better. And speaking of relationships, I want you to remember that every week at this time, Sundays at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, I am here for you. And if I can be of any help to you in your busy life, I want to remind you that this is a full scope group for busy women. We often talk about time management or reaching goals. Today we talked about relationships. Sometimes we talk about helping kids through milestones, getting through their milestones. We talk about many topics. And the reason we do that is when you talk full scope, you can have full scope results. People often tell me they've done some time management programs, and the time management programs are somewhat relevant to time, but they don't fit into their lives as busy working women. They expect people to have an hour at a time or different times during the day to meditate. And so it's not realistic for them. Some people take courses on building habits. And again, they don't realize your family commitments and responsibilities. But I sometimes talk about habits and building routines and systems as well. And all of the topics that we talk jive together, go together, so that they will be relevant and they will make sense to make your life easier, simpler, but more complete, happy, and successful. So let's continue to do full scope. Let's create your happy, best life for you and your family. Make you most successful and build your best life. I will be here every Sunday at our regular time, 8 o'clock Eastern. If you have any topics you'd like me to talk about in our sessions, please let me know. Please, and if there are topics within the full scope, or specific topics, or the full range that you'd like to talk to me about, I will put my calendar in the comments section so that you can reach me. I will have a limited number of appointments as I do this week. I've enjoyed speaking to some of you and giving you some suggestions to help you along the way, and some programs that really make a big difference. So I look forward to working with you and continuing our relationship together. And I look forward to speaking to some of you this week and all of you next week at our regular time. Let's talk soon.